Heroic Menagerie is out and it is much harder than the normal version. There are some very drastic things that make it a very different activity compared to its original. When you run through it, you will definitely notice these things, but today I will be going through each one all at the same time, kind of from most important to least important. And jumping right into the changes, the first one is probably the biggest, like I said, and you'll definitely notice it if you try to just start up the Heroic Menagerie, and you'll notice that you are alone. Yeah, you need an actual fire team. It's not match made. You actually need a fire team to get into it and actually play and actually do something. You definitely can solo, and I'm sure someone will make a video of them soloing it. However, if you're just some normal player, I would really recommend trying to get 6 people. The next change is going to be in terms of light. It is now a 740 recommended light, and we all know thanks to the original recommended light, that pretty much means something like 750. I'm sure you can do 740, but its original is anything to go by. You will be encountering enemies at least of 760 at some point or another, and I've also heard of people getting as much as 770, so try it be at max light when you start. The final big change, or at least the changes that make it harder, is that if all the members of your fire team die, you will be immediately returned to orbit and thus have to restart. This can get particularly intense if you are low light or if you are just last one alive. You're going to need to be extra careful when dealing with enemies, and I found myself trying to run and hide way more often, so try to play it safe and so you don't have to return to orbit. The next change, which I think it makes it easier, is that you will now have a set order of encounters which do not randomize with each startup of the Menagerie. What I mean by this is that when you are doing normal mode, each time you run it, it will give you a random set of encounters, thus making it a little harder to predict what you will need. In the Rogue version, or maybe for this week, the order is first Gauntlet, then Crystal, then Mockery. I'm told the next one is Repost, so you'll really need to try and get it in at least 3 because this week is Blackout, and that on Repost is not very fun. Why I think this makes it easier, especially this week, is because, I mean, you kind of know exactly what you're getting into, especially with the Gauntlet. You pretty much have a free encounter at that point because you can just use Prospector. Now, I don't know if it'll change every week. I mean, nobody knows that, at least for now. So it might even be daily. So, you know, we're kind of have to hold on that one, at least for today. The final change has to do with its rewards. Sadly, it isn't some sort of guaranteed god roll, but actually it is that you can now get swords from the final boss, and that you are now guaranteed to get the new Inzagi's Burden Catalyst at the end of the run. And that is it. There are also of course some new triumphs, but that could be a whole nother video. We were going for one specifically, however, which is Flawless, where you cannot die in the final boss, which for us was very difficult because we didn't even have some people at max light, so I do think you're going to need 750 for that. One final thing about the Heroic version is that it did feel much more like a raid. I was making a lot more callouts. As I said before, it was much more difficult, and it was really just overall much more fun. It felt like an entirely new raid. So again, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have fun in the Heroic Menagerie, and I'll see you guys next time.